Aujourd'hui, je vais vous raconter Diary of a Wimpy Kid Wrecking Ball, ok? Je vais commencer. Attends, ok? C'est en anglais, pour vous dire. Someday, I read that in ancient time, they used to bury king and pharaohs with all their possession. Back then, I guess they thought you could take your thing with you into the afterland. Well, if I get buried all my junk, I might really regret it later on. Mom's having me do some spring cleaning to get rid of my things. I don't need. Well, that seems like a good idea until I realized just how much stuff I really got. I spent the whole morning going through my closet, and it's crazy how much was packed in there. And it's not like it was organizing or anything. I've basically been throwing things in my closet since we moved in. Digging through my closet was like going through my childhood. And the farther back I went, the further back in time it took me. The stuff near the front of the closet was junk I tossed in there the past year, like homework, assignments, and comic books. But after I got those things out of the way, I started finding stuff I forgot about. I found model rocket I got for my 10th birthday, and a costume I wore for the Halloween a few years ago, and there was a bunch of other things I didn't even know I still had it. When I dug a little deeper, I found something I thought I'd lost years ago. It was a blindfold sticker I collected in 3rd grade. I used it to be obsessed with stickers, especially the scratch and sniff kind. I collect all the good smell, like bubblegum and cotton candy, and that sort of things. But I had all the really gross ones too. So when a kid on my street wanted to know what giraffe poop or rotten meat loaf smelled like, they'd come to me. One of these days, I'm going to write my autobiography, and it's going to include scratch and sniff stickers to make all the different moments in my life. I kept digging through my closet, and I found stuff from kindergarten, like a fish made by tracing my hand on a piece of instruction paper. I loved doing art craft back then, and if anyone tried to bully me about it, they'd get a face of glitter. Cough, cough. Another project I found in my closet was a gift I made for my mom in preschool but never gave her. It was a paper flower with a picture of my face in the middle and glued to a popsicle stick. When I made the thing, I put it in a little clay pot filled with dirt. I got home from school that day, and that's why I never gave it to her. I was glad when I reached the back of my closet, but to be honest, I was a little disappointed too. When I was younger, I read this book about these kids who could visit a whole different world by going through their closet. And I always wondered if I might be able to do the same thing with mine. But I thought that whoever lived in another side might not be happy with me for tossing all my junk there over the ear. When I told Mom I was done emptying my closet today, she said I need to put everything into 3 piles. One to keep, one to donate, and one to throw away. But I figured I had to let go of any of my junk. I might as well make some money off of it, so I decided to have a yard sale. Mom thought that was a great idea, so she gave me a magazine that had all sorts of tips for how to get right, to how to do it right. All the idea in the magazine was corny and old-fashioned. Thought there was one section on how to create a sign to get people to come to your yard sale, and all the example they showed was really bored. I knew that if I wanted people to actually show up at my yard sale, I needed to do something a little more eye-catching. So I whipped up a sign I knew would do the trick. 100 billed, found on sidewalk. Please come to 12 Surrey Street to claim your property. I made a few copies of my sign and headed out to pass them around the neighborhood. But Mom stopped me before I got out of the front door. Mom made me make signs that were more like the one in the magazine. And after I was finished, I stapled them some telephone pole out our street. Then I hauled everything down from my bedroom and started setting it all out to some plastic tables. Each table had its own category, like clothes and books and that kind of things. But some stuff wasn't easy to categorize, so I had to get creative. I had a bunch of gifts from my grandparents and older relatives that I never even touched. So I pulled all those things together on one table. I also had a bunch of birthday cards that were still in pretty good shapes. So I used some white out to cover my name and set them on their own table. I put all my broken toys on another table who hopped from some little kids who couldn't read or come to the yard sale. I stuffed all my random items, all marble and a few pencil stubs into some stub socks and stump tacked them to the table. I also created a table full of things for people who had money to burn. I put all my old art and craft projects on their own table just in case some kids needed a gift for their parents but didn't want to put in the time. While I finishing up, Mom came outside to check out my yard sale, and she seemed pretty impressed. But she said I should hold on to the thing I made myself since that stuff is really special. I told Mom that if she wanted something, she could always buy it herself. So she offered me $3 for a paper flower I made for her in preschool. Mom seemed pretty eager to have that thing, and I could tell it was worth more than $3 to her. So I told Mom it was all for her 10. I guess I pushed my luck through because she went back without buying anything. While I waited for customers to show up, I started to get a little nervous. All my stuff was just lying out in the open, and I had no idea a way to stop people from stealing it. So I called my best friend Rolly Jefferson and asked him to come down and be my thief prevention officer. But Rolly said he was supposed to do anything with his dad this afternoon, so he couldn't help with me the yard sale. I told him I promised him to left the prevention manager, and he'd even get to tour with the badge. Luckily, that did the trick. As soon as Rolly got to my house, I started asking about that badge. All I could find was my old firefighter costume, but that seemed to make him feel important. Rolly asked what he was supposed to do as the theft prevention manager, and I said mostly he needed to walk around and crack his knuckle to make sure nobody got any funny idea. But Rolly was paying attention to my instruction because he was distracted by a table that had a bunch of birthday gifts that he'd gotten me over the years. I'm pretty sure Rolly's mom picked out my presents since they always things that help you learn. And they all still in mint condition because I haven't actually opened any of them. Aujourd'hui, je vais raconter ici et demain, je vais continuer cette histoire. OK? Bye!